What do you think happens when old family traditions mix with big dreams and fast new money? You'll likely see a $200 million wedding between the daughter of a rich oil family and the son of a tech billionaire that won't last for 2 years. In today's video, we're talking about what happens when old money falls in love with new money. You know this sounds like a perfect match with fancy families, big dreams, and even bigger bank accounts. The weddings are straight out of a movie, where you'd find castles, diamonds, and guest lists full of billionaires. But behind all that glitter, things can get pretty messy. Old money likes quiet class, while new money shows up in sneakers and wants everyone to know they're rich. That mix is not always a happy one. There are fights, drama, and some seriously expensive divorces. So why do these rich and glamorous love stories always end in disaster? And what does it really say about wealth, legacy, and identity when the past and future of money try to share the same dinner table? Well, grab your seat. It's going to be a wild ride. To really understand why old money and new money don't always mix well in marriage, we first need to look at what those terms mean. Old money is wealth that's been in the family for generations, like the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, or European royals. These families usually value tradition, privacy, and social rules that have been around forever. They don't show off. Their idea of luxury is a quiet inherited estate in the countryside, not a shiny penthouse with floor-to-ceiling windows. New money, on the other hand, is earned fast in flashy ways. We're talking tech billionaires, crypto guys, or celebrities who hit it big. They love to spend and show it on designer clothes, gold-covered everything, and houses that are so big you need a map. For them, money is meant to be seen and enjoyed. So when old money marries new money, it's not just about love, but about two very different worlds crashing into each other. One side prefers whispered elegance, and the other loves champagne fountains on a Tuesday. It's not always a smooth match, and that's where the drama begins. So let's look at a few real-life couples who show just how tricky it can be when two very different worlds try to become one. Athena Onassis and Doda Miranda. Athena is the last living descendant of Aristotle Onassis, the Greek shipping magnate once married to Jackie Kennedy. Her name carries the weight of old European money that is traditional and guarded. Doda, a Brazilian Olympic show jumper, came from a more modest background and had built his success through sport. At first they looked like a perfect match, living in luxury and traveling the world. But things didn't stay rosy for long. Their relationship was plagued by cheating rumors, cultural misunderstandings, and endless fights over Athena's massive inheritance. When the divorce came, it was ugly, bitter, and very expensive. Petra Eccleston and James Stunt. Petra, daughter of Formula One billionaire Bernie Eccleston, grew up in a world of order, luxury, and old-school values. James, however, was flashy and loved showing off his wealth. Their wedding reportedly cost over £12 million and was one of the most lavish events in recent history. But while the wedding made headlines for its extravagance, the marriage quickly fell apart. Their divorce was a public mess, full of dramatic courtroom scenes, accusations of abuse, gold theft, and financial fraud. What started as a dream turned into a courtroom drama that could rival any Netflix series. Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner. While this marriage hasn't ended in scandal yet, it's a perfect example of old money meeting new. Ivanka, daughter of Donald Trump, comes from a high-profile, self-made empire that thrives on media attention. Jared, on the other hand, is part of the deeply private Kushner real estate dynasty. Though both families are wealthy, their approaches to money and status are worlds apart. Insiders say there's been tension between the two families because of differences in values, political strategies, and views on public image. It's a more subtle clash, but still a powerful example of the challenges in merging different money cultures. Paris Hilton and Carter Room. Paris may have built her fame as a reality TV star, but don't forget she's a Hilton, and that means she comes from one of America's best-known hotel empires. That's classic old money. Carter, meanwhile, is a self-made venture capitalist from the startup world. While their marriage is still blossoming, some have noted the contrast between Paris's love for the spotlight and Carter's low-key lifestyle. Time will tell if these differences cause friction, but they highlight how even successful loving couples can struggle when their financial backgrounds and personal values don't match. So why do these relationships often crumble? There are a lot of reasons, but some of them are cultural clashes. Old money families value privacy, subtle behavior, and quiet elegance. New money, on the other hand, often loves to show off vacations, success stories, and have a love for attention. These opposite mindsets can lead to constant friction. Even planning a vacation or hosting a dinner can become a tug-of-war over what's proper. Power imbalance. Old money carries centuries of family legacy, while new money often comes from hustle, grit, and starting from scratch. When the self-made spouse wants more say or recognition in a world built on quiet tradition, it can feel like talking to a very rich brick wall. 3. Legacy versus lifestyle. Old money thinks long-term by preserving wealth, investing wisely and planning for future generations. New money might prefer a yacht now and worry about the grandkids later. These different priorities can lead to arguments about spending, saving, and even parenting. Social acceptance. Just because someone marries into old money doesn't mean they're accepted. These circles can be cold and hard to crack. Many new money spouses find themselves politely tolerated, but never truly welcome into the inner circle. Media pressure. When old and new money couples become public figures, the pressure to appear perfect can be overwhelming. They literally live under a microscope. Every argument, outfit, or Instagram post can spark rumors and becomes public news. Unfortunately, that kind of spotlight doesn't help already fragile relationships. There's a saying that old money doesn't talk about money. New money can't stop talking about it. And that pretty much sums up the tension. In a Vanity Fair interview, one former debutante joked that her cousin's marriage to a tech mogul felt more like a merger than a marriage until it turned into a hostile takeover. Was that harsh? Maybe, but also kind of true. According to a psychologist, Dr. Abigail Parker, the real issue isn't love, it's expectations. When both people come into a relationship with strong ideas about money, status, and identity, marriage can start to feel less like a romantic partnership and more like a business deal. Each side brings their own rules, habits, and unspoken beliefs about how wealth should work, and that's where things get out of control. It's not that these couples don't care for each other, it's that love alone isn't strong enough to bridge the gap between inherited tradition and self-made success. And when pride meets pressure, well, even fairy tales can fall apart. On paper, a marriage between old money and new money sounds like a modern fairy tale, and two fortunes joining forces. But in reality, it's a lot. These relationships can be full of cultural misunderstandings, clashing values, and heavy pressure from society. What starts as a power couple moment can quickly turn into a full-blown emotional and financial disaster. Love might be strong, but it's not always enough to handle the weight of family expectations, centuries of tradition, or the flashy confidence of fresh success. Old money tends to move quietly, with rules that have been passed down for generations. On the other hand, new money shows up and is ready to break those rules and maybe post about it on Instagram. At the end of the day, whether you're coming from a castle in the Hamptons or a modern mansion in Malibu, it's more than how much you're worth, but how you think about wealth, legacy, and life. If your mindsets don't match, well, not even a $5 million wedding cake can sweeten that deal. On the flip side, what do you think is the reason a union between old money and new money is doomed from the start? Or can love bridge the gap between legacy and innovation? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into luxury, wealth, and the forces that shape the elite world. Meanwhile, if you're fascinated by the extravagant lifestyles of the ultra-wealthy, you won't want to miss inside Conor McGregor's billionaire lifestyle. Click here to watch what happens when the fighting spirit meets generational wealth.